It's a common sight on a hot summer day, pet owners allowing their dogs to take a dip in the local pond, lake, or river. But dog owners are being told to be wary of harmful algal blooms that occur during the summer. Also called blue-green algae, the blooms occur in stagnant water that get plenty of sunlight. Phosphorus and nitrogen in fertilizers and animal waste that drain into water bodies contribute to the problem. Dr. Deborah Silverstein, an emergency specialist at the University of Pennsylvania Veterinary School, says the hospital had to treat a dog several years ago that swam in a Philadelphia area lake.
And the dog, within an hour of swimming in this lake, showed signs of GI distress, so like vomiting and diarrhea, not feeling well, progressed to lethargy and inappetence within a few hours. And then they brought the dog into our emergency room here. This was otherwise a young, healthy dog that had no previous medical history.
The dog Dr. Silverstein treated survived, but most animals that swim or are exposed to the algae perish.
As with anything, often a dose response. So the more that they ingest, the sicker they are. This dog had luckily not ingested a lethal dose, but was in the hospital for about 10 days, required a lot of very intensive supportive care, including blood transfusions and feeding into the vessels because the dog's intestinal tract was so diseased. So it can be a very long, protracted hospitalization for the lucky dogs. Unfortunately, for a majority of animals that are exposed to these bacteria in the water, it is usually fatal.
Two types of toxins are created by the bacteria.
One causes liver failure, which usually occurs within hours to days after they've ingested the toxin. The other is a neurotoxin, so it actually affects the brain and the neuromuscular junctions that help our muscles to move properly. So this one actually can have clinical signs within minutes after ingestion, and those animals typically don't even make it to the veterinary hospital. They often will die of neurologic complications, seizures, muscle rigidity. They get sick quickly.
Veterinarians say there's no nationwide record keeping on the total number of dogs that die from algal bloom exposure. The Environmental Working Group says more than 10 died in 2019 from exposure and 6 so far this year.
It seems plausible that even climate change could be contributing, that we do have perhaps these even warmer periods of summer into fall combined with perhaps more fertilizer being used, that there might be more incidents.
Monitoring in New Jersey this summer has detected 3 lakes or ponds within the Delaware River watershed where harmful algal blooms present a moderate risk of adverse health effects and where people and pets should avoid contact recreation.
So this is not something I would consider common, but when it happens, it obviously is severe and lethal in most cases. So it's important for pet owners to be aware of seeing this kind of discolored water, even if their dogs are wading in the water at the shoreline, where sometimes it can concentrate if there's any wind. Occasionally, if they are drinking the water, swimming and ingesting the water that way, or even they get it on their fur and then they groom themselves, or other animals groom them, they can also be exposed to this toxin.